let's keep rolling through this deal because everybody wants to know what happened. Where we left off on the great adventure of Huckleberry Mike and Tom Sawyer was that Mike was on the edge of getting some deals signed. First one we've been talking about, if you just step back in, was, maybe we can label these just because, could you just give me like the street? It doesn't have to be the full street address, but if there's...
this will be 345 Bird, BYRD.
345 Bird, like that?
Yep.
Okay. So projected profit on this deal for Mike is going to be $25,000, either upfront or over time.
Yep.
A cool thing about that is, right, this is residual passive income for Mike. Once he does all the work and passes the buyer to this seller, whether Mike's collecting $1,000 a month for the next 25 months or he's getting large lump sums, it's all passive for Mike now. He's done the deal, he's getting paid on it later. It also could be all up front too if you get a really good buyer.
Right.
So that's really cool for you guys to think of. We've done a whole bunch of assign out deals, and although we get a release sign, meaning that we are no longer responsible for it. So at these AOs, once he accepts the buyer, he's going to get a release sign from his seller and his buyer. We still tell the buyer to send the non-refundable deposits to this bank account and the rents to a different bank account. So that way the seller's working directly with the bank, for the monthly payment, and then we're the ones still collecting the non-refundable deposits so we can distribute, so we still get paid. I'm sure someone's gonna ask a question on that in the future.
Well, and that's in their contract too. It's contractually set up, guys, at the very beginning.
Right.
Love it. So Mike just made, Mike's got a projected $25,000 on that deal. What's the address for this one?
It's 355
The
Bird.
other small one's the same thing, I think. Mike,
they were basically the
small
same thing, same
Okay.
profit, just a little bit higher price point.
So maybe we jump to the $1 million one.
Yeah, we can
Let's
jump to
see.
that one.
So Mike's gonna get $25,000 on this one. Let's just go that route. But the seller's gonna, I just again want to see this. This is also a 325 price.
No, this one's a little bit more. It's 345. I tried to get her down a little bit on this one, but she wouldn't budge. So, but it's all right.
The monthly payment on this one is what?
2350.
Times 24. So the seller's gonna make 56,000 minus taxes, plus her 345. So she'll net, seller will net 401-ish on this property as well. So Mike's just made this lady like an extra $150,000 so far.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you guys to hear how powerful this can be when you're speaking to a seller with conviction. Like this isn't, Mike's making a significant change for this particular seller. Okay, and so let's talk this deal then.
Yeah, so this one's her primary residence. It's a unique property. It's I want to say maybe 25 to 30 minutes away from the city, right? So it's a little trek to get to the town. It's a beautiful property. It's on a golf course. The problem with this location is that the school district line cuts off like right before this golf course, right? And so it's hard to get buyers for these big homes, right? Because typically you'll get like a family that wants to move in there, and if someone's going to be spending that dollar amount, they're going to want them to go to the better school district. So it's kind of like one of those things, right, where it's hard to sell for the max.
And there's no school of choice in that area?
Say that again.
There's no like school of choice, or you can't get put into like a lottery in order to get into that particular school district?
No, they won't allow it.
And Mike, this
is very difficult, right? So
for people just catching up, this is the one that was the initial FSBO call,
yes.
Not the other two. Those are bonuses.
Yes.
And this is also an assign out?
Yes.
And this is a FSBO. Yeah, FSBO. Okay. Just so we can label it. What's like the street?
Glen Lane.
I feel like we
You know, it's kind of funny. This property, it is very close to another property that I sold in that area. So that's why it was so easy to speak to it when I was talking to her.
Mike, I want to add this. Wasn't that other one that was close one that you guys would have considered as a family, but because it was over the school line, you couldn't do it? Was that the one?
This is the one, actually. Remember I called you
This
back
is-
then? I told her, I'm like, yeah, this is possible AO. You know, this is one I was working with. This is her.
So Mike could have bought this property, guys. We haven't talked about that at all during this summit.
Yep.
You can and should be looking for your own property this way, and that could have been an option for Mike and his family.
Yeah.
Good deal.
love it. Okay. What's the debt and equity on this property?
She has she owes quite a bit on it. It's around 800 and something thousand, I want to say, because she pulled additional money out. She said so. Her payment's high on it too, so that's why definitely AO for me.
What is she asking for a purchase price?
115. She got it appraised at 115. She just got the appraisal.
Was it like 315?
Equity, sorry, yeah. So the equity is 350. Is that? Yeah.
Okay. And what are we on the market for?
I'm thinking going to 1.2 to make 50 grand. Could go a little higher, but I feel like that's gonna be really pushing it.
What are the comps say in the area? I'm just curious.
It's around there. It's around that million to 1.2. Like it's hard to get a comp on this property because it's
Yeah,
so
that might be
big.
good
It's
for
so
the
big.
rent
It's like
sake, though.
4,500 square feet. There are other homes that are around there. They're not as big.
What did you
So-
sell the other one for that's near this?
What's that?
What did you sell the other one for that's near this?
Oh, that was years ago. That was I sold it for 750 or 780, somewhere around there.
Got it.
Yeah.
So markets appreciate it a little bit.
Oh yeah, this was before the
Crazy.
COVID boom. Yeah, the increase.
Got it. Okay. So monthly payment on this property is how much?
She wants 10 grand a month. This is what she's looking for. So I told her it's gonna be a little difficult, but we'll take it. Let me take it under contract, and I'll go back to you after 30 days once I get a reaction from the market.
Okay, so now again, Mike drops these nuggets. Like he set her expectation. He didn't try to like sell her on, yeah, I can get that tomorrow. He said, look, I'll try and I might come back to you.
Yeah.
Just set their expectations.
And I did that with all the properties, guys. Like I'll set it up that way. If I do go back, it's not like out of the order. You know, it's not like I'm coming out of nowhere to ask for any type of adjustments or, set the expectation in the beginning.
What is her actual payment?
It's close to 10 grand. It's like 9,300 or somewhere around there.
She's just trying to break even on this thing.
Yeah, she is. And like I said, she pulled money out, so that's why it's so high. She needed the cash for other reasons. So,
Mike, I'm curious if you said it. Sorry, where is she going that she's getting rid of this house?
yeah, so she wants her daughter just had a child, so and it's too far of a drive for her to go and visit. She wants to be closer to her daughter. So it's
Got
just
it.
like a family thing, right? And she's by herself in that big house. Can you believe that? She's by
Wow.
herself and 4,700 square feet, I think it is. So yeah, she was trying to move closer to her kids.
Got it.
Okay. Do we know what the taxes are on this?
It's gonna be I do not know what it is. No.
Just asking for marketing purposes because
Yeah, let's just say it's typically 1.3. You're probably looking at probably 1,000 a month.
Okay, awesome. That's it. I'm moving to California.
Yeah, California has actually really good property tax. About 1.2 to 1.5 the highest. I mean, in some areas.
That's because the income tax is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's like the only good thing we have, right? I mean, everything else is terrible.
Mike, you know you could move, right?
Yeah, right. He's a born and bred Fresnonian.
I don't know. It's gonna be tough.
Fresnonian.
Nothing to brag about.
It's probably real. All right. So you have the ability to do that. So at the end of the day, you might be able to get her $1,000 in cash flow if you do 10,000 plus taxes, or you just kind of covered there as well. So I'm gonna go 0 on here. What was
Great thing about this property too, guys, is that she's willing to do the same thing on this one as she is on the other two little ones, is offer some type of wrap or seller finance for long term for the buyer. So she doesn't care. I mean, if they're like on the fence and it's difficult for them to, if they're a business owner, it's difficult for them to prove their cash flow and whatnot. For the bank standards, right? She would openly finance them herself, right? So
Got it.
she's okay with doing that. So
Your pool of buyers is bigger, obviously, because you can do that.
yeah. So obviously, since she's offering that, I jumped on it, and I'm not going to be. I mean, 50,000 is great money on a property. I mean, for a quick AO, but I might be able to push it a little bit more.
But Mike's got. I hope everybody's adding this up. Mike's got $100,000 in these 3 deals from working with this woman for 4 months.
Yep.
This lady's probably got like at least $2,500 and if not $3,000 in principal pay down on this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I'm thinking I'm throwing these things out because I know 10,000 just sounds like a lot, right, to cover. But if she's getting principal pay down, maybe she subsidizes for the right person for the right down payment,
Right.
that as well. But my guess is she's getting around $3,000 a month in principal pay down.
She might be doing something too later on where her payment's going to go down, like as far as because she needed that extra money for a project, and then I think she might get refinanced, pay it down, and then lower that payment. I mean, I don't know what she's going to do, but that she was talking in those terms, right? That she's going to do that down the line, but up front, it's not a fit for me, so that's why I went AO.
Cool.
Hida asked about when you say owner financing, you mean the whole amount. Hida, they're talking about the buyer after the buyer gets to a 20% down payment and no missed payments, right, Mike?
Right.
Yeah, so she would basically pull out all of her equity and then probably do a wrap mortgage on the
Do a wrap. Yeah, exactly.
Nonchalantly said it. Gina, you're up. Going once. Just gonna unmute if you don't. I can't see your face, so I don't know if you're talking at the camera or not.
Sorry, I'm getting ready for work. So just basically, so she has the final say on the selling price, because you're saying I might, when you say it, Mike, you're like, maybe I'll go with this or that, but it's really, she's the one who's doing the final selling price, right?
No. We agreed upon the price. It's 115 was the price to her. I just said that I just got these signed like literally a few days ago. I don't know what I'm gonna go to the market at. I'm thinking 1.2 for 50 grand. I might go a little higher, like a 125 to collect 75 grand on my fee, right? But whatever I do on top of the 115 is what I'm getting. So we're doing the same setup as the other two smaller homes. 50-50 split on the deposits until I hit my fee total.
Yeah, their concern, Gina, is only, as a seller, their only concern is what's the minimum we're establishing? Then Mike goes out and plays above it.
Right.
And she's okay with the timing that might be like, well, that's going to take more time. I already tried selling as a FSBO.
But she didn't try in this market. This is a good question for everybody to hear. So she was trying conventionally, right? So she's fishing in the pond of, okay, 17 to 20% of the population can be approved for a loan.
Right.
Mike's going to bring it out and expose it.
Gotcha.
That's all our deals. Yeah.
Okay. So she can still be asking at her original desired price point. And now you're saying if I can push it more, I'm going to take that a little bit, that spread. And then she's happy. You're happy.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to the market on terms, right? So we're really the only game in town, and you're able to charge a premium for these terms. So you're able to ask a little bit more. On top of that, there's no other option, right, for the buyer at this point. So that's why we're able to get to top of the market.
Thanks. Yeah, Central Valley, you're going to have a lot of independent under the table people. Yeah, that's, if you know what I mean, like just independent business owners. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, and she's willing to work with them. So, I mean, I've worked in the market for several years now. Totally understand it. That's why I jumped on it.
You know, if you were to get it super premium, would she be like, hey, whoa, 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 you know, I've left a lot of money on the table? Or I guess at this point, the contract is the contract, the deal.
Yeah, and I told her, hey, look, on this, it's gonna be like something. I'm pretty good with talking with her, so I told her probably 5-6%, you know, in that price range, you know, so she knows it's gonna be, you know, somewhere around there, 70,000, 50,000, 60,000.
And then lastly, you guys are gonna, you have a kind of like, give me this much time, and then if it doesn't perform, then adjust.
As far as the marketing period, or
yeah,
you know what? With this one, it's to be determined. I didn't even give a date,
Wow,
so
good deal.
I could probably market this thing for a while because she wants these terms. She doesn't want to sell it traditionally, so I left it open ended.
So
That's
Gina,
great.
guys.
good assumption though, right? I mean, that she's going to worry about what the price is going to be when you go sell it. If you look at the T chart, she's going to make almost $80,000 more on each one of those deals. She's going to be happy to give Mike 25 grand.
Yeah.
To go get this whole thing done.
Yeah, if she gets principal pay down on that property for just those 2 years, I mean, it's going to be a boatload for her.
Yeah, and these sellers, I'm not going to say they can't do it. They can do it, but they'll screw it up, right? They don't
Right.
have the buyer process we have. They just don't. They'll put some renter in there. The renter will screw around and they won't buy the house. And it's a pipe dream in the wrong renter. Whereas we put buyers in there.
Well, Chris, let's even just say this. I know, or we know, so many real estate investors out there that have done hundreds of deals, but they've never done a rent-to-own program before, and a majority of them won't go do it because they're just not clear on the process. So now imagine that it's somebody's like personal residence. They're going to be such a fish out of water. They're not going to want to do it. They want it done for them. I'm guessing she's business owner, or she's got other stuff going on that she doesn't need to worry about doing this process every day.
Right.
Cool. Herman?
Yes, sir. So, you know, most deals when we do an AO, obviously we structure that, you know, whatever split you decide to do on a deposit, that is an extra incentive on top of their cash flow. But what I'm seeing here, Mike is basically like, no, I'm going to keep all of that markup over time. Like, we'll split the deposits over time till I reach that markup point and you get the cash flow. Is that something that we would encourage doing more often? Was this a very unique deal?
I mean, I would say feel it out, right? And this one, I felt that if she hit those numbers, then she'd be happy. She wouldn't need anything more on top to get the deal done, right?
Yeah.
So I'd feel it out and just as you speak to the seller and get more information, you can decide on how to approach it.
And is that only possible when you talked about maybe hitting the 20% mark, or also the 10% mark for the deposit? Because obviously you're trying to get to the 20%, so there's going to be more payments and therefore more easily split, versus if you're only getting to the 10%, then afterwards, you know, the seller does whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
after a certain point, 100% of the deposits are going to be going to the seller, right? So, I mean, 10% is definitely going to take care of almost all of my portion, if not all of it. And so I'm not worried about it. I think we'll be okay.
No, it's just because, you know, most of us haven't seen the structure before, and obviously it's beautiful because you just make yourself quite a fat payday. But I don't think we have seen this before in the community, or at least I haven't. So I like to understand the nuance of it. I like it. It's a beautiful deal you've structured there.
Yeah, the main thing
You
is
know
just
why
to
you
be
haven't seen
creative,
it, yeah?
guys. Yeah, there's no like, I mean, we have a basis of what to follow by, but if you need to maneuver and make things work, we can. That's like the beauty about terms, creative financing.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, stick around. Like, Hit has been there 5 months. That's probably why you haven't seen every creative deal, right? You're gonna keep seeing new ideas, Hitta, which is cool. For like 3-4 years, you are, because these deals are all unique. They really. That's why the word creative is in the title.
Yeah, and I love it. So has this been done before, or is this for most of you guys kind of a new structure?
No, definitely has been done.
Okay, cool.
We set
Well,
up competitions a couple of years ago on who could get the least amount of
Most
or the
creative.
most amount of deposit. We had students, seller didn't get any of the non-refundable deposit at all. So if you want to go try it, we'll.
This is why what Zach just said. This is why it's so important to run the deal by the coach before you submit it. Super important, or get the coach on the phone or one of us on the phone before you finalize it. Make it part of your protocol. Hey, our next step is, and you introduce your coach to the seller before. Just make it part of the protocol. It's what we do. You talk to my senior associate next.
Yeah, and keep in mind, if I just had the one smaller properties, let's say it was just one deal instead of three, yeah, I wouldn't be splitting it probably 50-50. I'll probably push for that 70-30 split. Yeah.
Fair enough. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but these are 3 deals by the same owner, correct? And your profit was 100,000.
Same owner.
Yeah. So can we make a competition to try to top that?
Yeah,
More than welcome to. I would love you to break that.
We're trying, man.
Yeah, you guys have some offers out. Maybe after the top of the hour, we'll quickly walk through your 3 owner financing deals, just so we can see if you
Why
can
not?
beat on 3 owner financing deals with the same owner versus 3 AO.
Wow.
That would
Of course
definitely
they
beat
will.
it. That would beat it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys.
It's good. Love it. The Greek versus the Dutch. This is good. World War VII. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, question for you, Mike. You keep saying you're splitting the deposit, but you're really not, because the markup you made, you're getting all of it. You're just splitting how it comes in, right?
Yeah, just splitting how it comes in until
Okay.
my 25,000's met or until the 50,000's met.
Okay, that's a little bit different than, yeah, like Hida said, it's a little bit different than what I was used to. That's great to see. My second question was, in the case where the owner, they seem to be like, they need that 10,000, otherwise they may have to come out of pocket monthly. It's okay in this case, because it's an owner financing, for the owner to go refi that loan any way they want, right? At any time, because it's their house and there's nothing involved. So they can do that without the buyer really caring.
Yeah, the AO, they're able, I mean, if we're in the middle, they can't do that, right? They
Right.
can't go and refinance and restructure the debt. But if they have it, they could do it as long as it doesn't mess up the numbers, right?
Right, I mean, they
they have
actually
to-
make it
They have to
easier
honor
for
the
her to-
buyer's agreement.
Let's say this.
Okay.
Technically, they could go refinance or put debt against all of those properties, even though the other ones are debt free. Because that's up to the seller whether they want to subsidize a loan if they go get it in order to make the monthly payment.
Right.
Because it's still in their name, they still own it, so they could technically
Okay.
do it if they want.
So
That
she may
brings
have.
up, Steve, sorry, that brings this conversation brings up when you do a sandwich and you cloud title with a notice of option. Our notice of option says right on it that no more debt can be placed on it.
Right.
That's a
In that
sandwich.
case. In the sandwich, okay.